It was pretty accurate, wasn't it? Welcome, welcome, Snappy, Split, Michigan, lady, anybody lurking and listening. Welcome to the stream. We're gonna play some marbles today, and just hang out and do silly things and be our usual silly selves. But we'll also be here tomorrow night, guys. Tomorrow night we're gonna do some bingo. Tonight's marbles. Tomorrow's bingo. But yeah, let me go get the team. Let's say hi. They're all eager and ready to go, and I'm sure be loud as usual. So here we go. Let me go find the button. Welcome all, we're live.
But anyways, this is how. Oh, I was telling them how to clean.
You were telling them how to clean their marbles? Is that what you were doing?
Yeah, I was just trying to get professional, advice, all that stuff, and they all took notes, and it's all good. And then we have a test section next Friday.
Oh,
right,
nice filter there, Michigan.
Yeah.
Why does it look like I'm in a wind tunnel in the rain?
Because it's tornado.
Oh, Twister. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Wrong button.
Hiya, Snappy.
Okay, I think I need to get rid of that. That doesn't fit me.
Let's see.
I
was like, what did I come back to? All I heard was wrong button. And
okay, I'm sorry.
Well, we all got naked.
It's the cat hoodie that's got like the cat pouch, but it's too small. I was tiny the last time I wore them.
I would say you could send it to me, but I'm probably not that tiny either, and I don't have a cat, so I can put a plushie in it.
I'm pretty sure you and I were the same size.
Yeah, I don't have a plushie to put in it.
Oh, this is just way too small for me.
Alright, we're gonna start with like I'm gonna load up some tracks and then people can join and take their time, but no rush.
Yeah, everybody get their marbles on the track.
Because I'm gonna do some stuff.
All that too.
I told you guys I was gonna be sus tonight, so I'm gonna be sus.
Yeah, no, yeah, like I always thought you were the murderer.
Yeah.
Everybody raise their hands. No, it's good.
No, I'm gonna play with my food tonight. So yeah, I'm gonna be like either that's good or that's gonna be gross. So
no, like I was like pray. No, it's good.
No.
Oh my
God. But yeah, if you're lurking, the thing is there. You can join. You know what? I'm gonna do what I used to do. I'm gonna do the little tiny thing. Let's do this real quick. Game capture. And just so you can see that we're doing things and stuff over here. So you can join. And then, but yeah, no. A friend told me, actually J3 told me, so you guys can blame J3 for this. That the trick to eating like Cheetos and stuff on stream and not getting Cheetos all over your fingers and your keyboard and stuff is chopsticks, yeah. So I have chopsticks. But I decided to kick this whole thing up a notch. And I'm not doing just chopsticks. I am doing a snack bowl. So we're going to combine all these ingredients together into one bowl and mix it all up good. And then I'm going to eat it with chopsticks. We have donuts. We have Cheetos. And we have Skittles gummies. As if they don't really go together, I have a whole different set of evil for tomorrow as well. I just wanted to dump like all 6 things in here, but then they would have to sit till tomorrow because I could eat them all. and then it would really be gross. We got some gushers. Sweet. But yeah, information plated or the breeze. So I dumped in the Skittles gummies. Now I'm gonna dump in what I call chocolate wax donuts because you either love them or you hate them.
Is it the hostess ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People either love them or hate them. And people usually like the powder or the chocolate, either or. And mine is the chocolate, so we're dumping 6 chocolate over there because I did not buy a whole bag. I was a good girl. I thought about buying a whole bag, but I did not.
Good. You just got
Because I have been eating healthier, except for this weekend. It's a holiday weekend. I'm giving myself a reason. Hi, Turtle. Hi, Jay. Hi,
It's a
Betsy.
cheat weekend, isn't it, then?
Yeah. So now we're going to dump the Cheetos in here. So this cheese dust is going to get all over my gummies and my chocolate donuts. So we're going to find out what this tastes like.
Oh.
Hey, getting crazy up here.
So yeah, you have donuts, gummies, and now we're adding cheese. This is girl dinner, guys. Girl dinner. You know, got my drink and my snacks and my chopsticks because we're gonna be.
No, you're gonna run around.
I'm actually kind of glad that it is a marbles night. I can sit over here and do this shit.
I'm just gonna
Get
say,
it mixed.
I hope you got some antacids on hand just in case.
Literally.
I'll be fine.
No,
The
she's gonna
donuts and
run
the
around
Cheetos
room
will
and then
absorb
get-
everything. It's
And then get
fine.
super tired. Yeah, just run around the room like a kid and then go super
Yeah.
tired.
Now like the gummies are sticking to the donuts. So
I'm actually scared for you, which is
there's a gummy on that.
Would be too.
there's literally no actual
Yeah.
food.
And then no, there's food. There's cheese and chocolate and things. Yeah. But now I can eat it. Everything tastes like cheese.
I'm actually scared.
I mean, I'm gonna find out if cheese and chocolate taste good together too. A little bit.
I can't imagine. Like I would
Everybody
imagine
needs
it
to buy
should be.
her a grill. Everybody just.
I
just
mean-
make-
Drink wine and eat chocolate and cheese and crackers. Like,
That's a great diet. Yeah.
I am special, Momo. What the heck is that one bowl? We have Cheetos, chocolate donuts, and in here are some Sweetheart gummy. Not Sweetheart. Skittles Lifesavers. Oh, Skittles gummies. Words. Jeez. They're Skittles gummies. I love.
I'm gonna head to bed, guys. Have a great night.
Well, take
All
care,
right. Good
man.
night, T.
I'll see you tomorrow.
See ya.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Very good question. All right, splits. Let's see. Mm-hmm.
That is like we need to study this. this.
Looking at these. They're donuts. I'm Dane. Don't judge me.
He's gonna judge.
I think we're all.
Mhm.
judging, but it's-
Yeah, we are.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
The point.
Like,
Wait until you see the combination tomorrow I have planned.
yeah, you're gonna put it on pizza and cook
I
it.
got this planned for tomorrow too. Cheese donuts. Actually, they're pretty good with the chocolate and the cheese, surprisingly.
I can't wear them anymore.
But yes, we will start this race at 60 seconds. And see if I can start some music in the background too, because it's quiet. Appropriate. This stuff is called candy shop music. So we got our candy shop music to go with everything. I'm so glad to be home. I think she has a problem, guys.
definitely does.
problem. The problem is I've been eating too healthy lately.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm having what they call withdrawals or setbacks and gonna counteract everything I did because it's a holiday and I can use it as an excuse.
That's what it is. Yeah, this is your intervention.
Oh, it is. Cheers.
No, for
Do you
the
approve?
food. Well, the intervention was about your food quality, not your or not your other.
Turtle, I'll put you to work.
Yeah, I got some work. You wanna help me paint?
Bloody! Wanted to wish you a happy 4th. Thank you, Bloody! Thank you, thank you, thank you. Before I attempt to play, can I keep my fingers tonight? I mean, I guess?
What are you?
I don't know what you mean.
doing? No, it's a whole statement. It's not a question. What are you
Chopsticks,
doing,
yeah.
buddy, that you're gonna be playing? Can I keep my fingers?
Fireworks?
I don't know. I don't think Bloody is American.
What is you numbing? Okay, it's a concoction. There are Cheetos, chocolate donuts, and let's see if I get this right. Skittles gummies.
Like I said, I'm scared.
And I'm using chopsticks so my fingers don't get messy.
I don't know what to think. That's the thing.
This is a girl dinner for 4th of July.
No.
Wait until you see girl dinner tomorrow night.
No, that's Mono night.
Just wait. Yeah, of course it is. Would this be?
Yes.
Oh yeah, and stack on this.
She's
I
wearing
know.
2 shoes and has been. I don't think she's ever gotten high.
No, I haven't. I mean, I have alcohol, but that's it.
Next time you come here, I'll make
It's
sure
not
you-
legal in my state
It's not
or
here
at my
either.
job.
Well, that doesn't stop anybody. Anyways, I'm just saying that it's good for you.
How did I win?
Because you were eating the bowl.
Apparently, I was cheating.
No, because you're eating the bowl of victors. You know, like,
Black Forest.
That drink.
Oh, popcorn and Black Forest gummies. That sounds good.
Trust me, I had a gummy.
Grandpa used to play dots.
Exclamation play.
Dots.
I don't like dots.
I don't either, but they're pretty good with popcorn.
Interesting.
I air fry popcorn now, and I have popcorn every single day because I don't have to put all that fake butter and all that. Like, just you have popcorn.
Oh yeah.
Rigged.
You have your-
Yes. Exclamation play, guys. Thank you, Momo. Thank you for this.
3.
Thank you for the 17 months, silly Mono. You know it. You know it. I'm here to entertain you. I hope I made you laugh at least.
Oh yeah. My horde hoodie.
Good night, Turtle.
My wow horde hoodie.
Alright.
Or
You guys get your marbles on the track. Exclamation play.
I know what you mean, though. Or.
Yeah, horde, not horde.
No, it wasn't. I heard it.
Or bloody. You seem to have lost them. I lost my marbles. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I definitely lost my marble.
It's delicious.
I,
Just
I
saying.
lost mine forever ago.
What's wrong, Splits? You know you're muted, right?
no, he's.
You've been muted all night.
I'm just not speaking much.
Oh,
He's
okay.
thinking like I'm thinking. Whenever time you put the bowl up, we start putting our heads down. We start questioning life.
Uh-huh.
Is this real life?
Is this just fantasy?
Oh my god.
Start
So is he
singing.
Rhapsody now?
Is this the real life? We gotta get
Well, if I win,
Momo Lakes Day.
Flint's- that means
Oh, I
Flint's
didn't-
and
I
T
forgot to
will
join them.
do it at the same time because.
But no, J3 gave me the idea of eating Cheetos or, snacks that get your fingers messy while streaming with chopsticks so you don't get it on your keyboard. He does not know that I, however, mixed 3 different types of snacks in the bowl.
And also, what he doesn't know that you can actually wear a glove, like a surgeon glove, and then
Oh my
take
God.
it off, and then boom.
Take it off in between every time I touch the keyboard, though. That's a lot of work.
That is
True. I wasn't.
Didn't think about that, did ya?
No, I thought she was just. Fine.
The chopsticks I can set down every few seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm wrong. Gosh, leave me alone.
Chopsticks work well with board games too. Interesting.
Oh yeah.
Never
Yeah,
done that.
Can I post links or is it gonna?
Where has the chopstick thing been? All you guys know the secret but me.
Oh, it's a long thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of us have link powers.
Oh, for snacking while you're doing board games. That makes sense,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah. Yeah, so you don't ruin the game.
Well, one thing is.
Next time I get a board games, I'm gonna tell my friend that because we were playing Cards Against Humanity and eating chips and dip, and I was like, how do I do this?
That's how.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I need a bath, but come on.
Never mind the link, but that's the product
Well-
I'm trying to send you.
Yeah, now I've got cheese
Fur.
and something else in my mouth. Right?
You got all the fur. Here, lick a donut.
Well, that's a dark hole right there.
Yeah.
Ah, you fucking ridiculous. Okay, that's in that box.
Who won? Me?
Snackety Pro finger chopsticks for gamers as seen on Shark Tank? What?
Yeah, they attach to your fingers and then you just squeeze them together. Like they sit on
Oh.
like a ring on 2 fingers. And they go like.
Oh, so they stay above your knuckles while you're typing, but then when you go like that, they're back to. Yeah, cool. I need to check those out.
Once you remember the Riddle comedy. Yeah.
When you've been gaming for, all your life, and you just now found out about chopsticks in gaming?
That's how I eat Doritos at work. So
See? Where has this knowledge been? How have I missed this?
Well,
Everywhere
I'm too
but
busy
apparently in front of you.
winning. I'm too busy.
Yeah, I know, right?
learning. So. That is very smart, though. It's a good idea. I just tried to improve nothing.
Mm-hmm. Exclamation play to get your marble on the track, guys. Exclamation play. Welcome back, Dassy. Giggle. Exclamation giggle. You made me giggle, so I guess it worked.
We really need to get a clip of your giggle and just make it a sound.
Exclamation giggle.
Mhm.
Molly the Human Onion, welcome back to stream. Welcome.
Absolutely hilarious to have a giggle.
Uh-huh.
Man.
You'll just have to clip a good giggle. I'm like, pull this out for a minute. Wax. Level 3.
Man,
Michigan pulling out all the hacks. He's using extra wax in this marble today.
Level 3 is actually not like it tops out at 10. I just want to
Mm-hmm.
make sure the wax is.
Alright, I'm gonna use my axe.
I was looking for this. It's the matte varnish.
Countdown to dominoes.
It was in a box.
16, 15, 14, 13.
I mean, the one with the
Wow.
question mark.
Oh. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. take the lead. We have Desi. We have Momo in Michigan. We have, wait, straight out of the gate, we have Molly the Human Onion, who is here to take over and show us how it's done.
I had wax level 3, so I should beat you all. No, we didn't.
Oh, Desi's not having it. Took
They
the lead.
added that in the new update. The wax level was good. They did.
Closely followed by Michigan. Michigan, your wax is working. Although you've hit the staircase, so let's see what happens.
Alright, damn, I should have used level 4.
Yeah, I think you needed one more, because I think Desi is also using her same hack. You guys seem pretty equal. I don't know. You got Molly and Desi on your trail. Oh, Molly's out. Molly's running. Oh, I fell off the track, but Molly's in first now.
Somebody just went through. I think
Molly is kicking butt.
Yep, I'm gone.
Molly got first place, followed by Irene.
It's because of her ball. That's a beautiful ball.
Congrats, Molly. GG.
She used
GG.
proper wax. What wax
Right?
level? Wax level. What? I'm sorry. I
10.
can't even say the word.
Buckshot. A wild
Probably
Psyduck
5 or
appeared.
6.
How do I not have a Psyduck? I don't believe that thing sometimes. I'm pretty sure I have a Psyduck. Get your marble on the track, guys! Exclamation play!
Guess I don't have any regular Pokeballs.
Mhm.
Finally ran out.
Mhm.
It happens.
Burnt bloody on the booty. Oh! Thanks for the boobs. Right there. On the nose.
It looked like she just went like
23
this.
seconds, guys! 23 seconds! Exclamation play! Welcome, Shane!
Oh, your personal nurse is here to make sure. Okay.
God.
You can't have it!
Oh, she's running! She's running!
He's on
My
the
personal
clock.
dietitian is here. You can't have it!
We're gonna have to strap her down, make sure she gets real food.
Shane is here to show us how it's done. Leading the way.
I hope, I won
Yeah,
this. Oh,
for-
Team
yeah,
USA.
totally.
Sorry.
First place.
You,
And
USA. USA. Oh.
This is the wrong year, though. This is from the Tokyo Olympics.
that's a cool one to have, though.
I just have USA. This, one thing about my shirt, it's good every year because there's no years.
Yeah. Since Mono is eating, I decided I would eat too.
Yay! What do you got? Ramen or cereal?
Probably
Either
bananas and this guy.
What is
Either it's like pork fried rice.
Ooh, that sounds yummy.
See, that's
Oh,
actually new.
Y'all hit the target. I think we're on the back side of the target. There we go.
There's some nutrients.
I look how close all of us hit.
Ooh, this is ugly. We're like balls like on a light.
You are.
I'm always a buzz.
Jay got first place.
Yay.
Bug.
Lucky
Mhm.
people.
GG.
Congrats, Jay.
Got the side duck.
Next is Castle Siege.
I got last place because I'm not no bug.
Banana.
Banana.
Exclamation play, guys! Exclamation play to get your marble on the track.
This worked last time.
60 seconds.
Anybody who's here from the UK, do y'all go out and vote?
I'm from the UK, but I live in the US now.
He can't vote.
No, he's a
Can't vote.
traitor like the rest of us.
Apparently, I'm only burning bloody
I'm only
tonight.
a traitor for a girl, mate. So leave me alone on that.
You got it out for buddy, don't you?
Desi made it.
No, I just
Out
hope.
for bloody.
Obviously, that was a joke.
Now about these fit.
Too much English. I left it all that.
Hi, Master. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome,
Welcome.
welcome. Happy 4th, guys.
Yeah. Happy Treason Day. Yeah.
Happy day to eat food day. We're just gonna call it Eat Food Day. Happy Eat Food Day.
No, happy no nutrients in food day. That's probably what you should.
Yeah. Eat junk food day.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing. Yeah.
Hey, Molly the Onion has a flag in the background. I wonder if they
That's
planned it for
idiot.
today or if they always have a flag.
I'm gonna cry because of that. That's I want.
It's Molly in the lead, followed by
I want
Desi and
Molly to win.
Pie.
I want Molly to win because of that beat.
Pie Master must make the most delicious pies in the house.
I'm already dead.
Would probably judge my girl dinner very severely.
Girl.
Let's say I am judging it, but that's not a girl dinner that I've never seen.
Right.
It's called a grown-up dinner where you can eat wherever you want.
No,
A women's
that
dinner,
looks like
actually.
that is a teenage boy's dinner. Is what that is.
Literally.
I'm reliving my teenage boy years. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Apparently.
I've never done this before, so it's actually kind of cool. And the chopsticks are definitely covered in chocolate and cheese, and I'm glad my fingers are not.
I just picture you watching Netflix eating that every day. Just kidding.
No, I would be so
It was a joke.
so overweight. Oh my gosh. Momo comes in and steals the win.
Damn, no.
Everybody else did not finish. It was a tough track.
Yeah, that one is.
Stay on the.
Exclamation play to join the race, guys. Oh, wrong tag again. Alright. Oop. There you go. I was making sure my nose was still there. Yeah.
Attached.
I had to be sure that it still existed. I don't know if I can eat this whole bowl. This is a lot of snacks.
Well, yeah.
And honestly, eating it with chopsticks slows you down too, so you're not like just devouring it.
Well, you kind of set yourself up for that one.
Well, that's true. Jump. Mukbang. No.
Oh my god, I hate that shit.
I don't think I got that. Let me get my marble. My marble's taking a break because I have to hit it up.
Mm-hmm. Gotta stir my girl dinner here.
I like how you
You like that?
girl dinner.
I should take a picture of girl dinner and post it or something.
That's more like a
Momo's electrifying. She's gonna shock us all.
Anyways, my favorite snacks are popcorn. Just because the healthy kind, not the fake
blurry. It looks so gross.
What is it, bro? Oh,
Photo.
you're gonna start talking about your eyesight. I was like, well, because you're eating it.
It looks so
You're-
gross in here.
Insulin.
Gonna call it gamer girl. Word.
That would make more sense. Like you're about to raid on WoW or something. It's like, okay, I need to eat.
Like Dalton does on a daily basis almost.
I try to get nutrients because I always nutrients.
Let's see.
Share this.
This is fun. Send it to you guys. That way I can like sleep in tomorrow if I want to.
Shane won, I believe.
Not have to worry about my streaks.
Clumsy second. Flint's third.
Lady stuck on the course somewhere.
Shane won. I hear mine not paying attention.
I'm
Shane, followed by Momo, Splints, and Cat.
I'm probably last place again because I'm trying to make sure you guys win.
We're waiting on rain, it looks like.
I think she's stuck. I don't think she's.
You have to find her.
Oh no.
Oh, the wall's gonna get her. She got burnt. She got her butt burnt.
That's okay.
And it wasn't me. Michigan, I don't think you made it to this race at all.
Oh
You
yeah,
got to
sure.
play.
He didn't.
skipped
I
it.
forgot about that.
Yeah, he's good then. Positivity.
Okay,
Like I
here we
said.
are with the finale, the Grand Prix finale.
I got first.
Michigan with third place, even though he didn't even join the last race. Look at him and his
Because
mad
I'm that
cow.
good. That's good.
He's got mad cow marble. Shane, second placed. It's his ghost appearance. Momo leading the way with the pupper.
I will accept these.
Cute
terms.
and cuddly. Stalking.
Oh,
You got first place, Momo. Look at you.
What happened when that countdown it just started?
Out of the 6 races we went,
I didn't even do all of them.
Right. I'm gonna go grab a cup of tea and order me some food because I haven't had
Okay.
dinner yet.
We don't say tea on this day. No, sir.
I'm British. I got tea running through my
Nah.
veins. I can't help it.
Don't catch me in Boston. Don't catch me in Boston. Anyways, take care. It was a
Catch
joke.
me in the
obviously.
harbor.
Be right back.
I'm gonna take care. Take care of your teas.
Welcome back, guys. I need to hit the start button.
That was a good one.
Exclamation play to get your marble on the track, guys. Exclamation play.
You know, I was thinking the Boston Massacre was actually like a good 5 years or so before Independence Day.
Well, it helped the movement a little bit. Like, you know how everything has to have something pushing
Yeah.
it forward. It's
you
not
mean
like-
the Tea Party?
Yeah.
I
No,
was gonna
Tea
let that
Party
slide.
was.
No shit.
Well,
It's
either.
been a long day.
I was
okay?
gonna say that too, but I wanted
I
to.
mean, I'm pretty sure the massacre took
21
place
seconds,
on-
guys. No play. Exclamation play. What? You can't say no play.
73,
Anyways.
okay, so it's about 3
Gee.
years. Sorry, not 5.
Axel, welcome, Axel.
But either way,
Waves,
once something starts
welcome to the
rolling,
stream.
It takes some
All you have
time.
to do, guys, is exclamation play to join.
You can't just all of a sudden have an incident and then that's it. It takes time because people have to.
It's so funny. Okay.
Second of
I
July.
blame
is
Michigan.
next.
I blame Michigan. I'm distracted.
Yeah, dude. What? It's always my fault.
Don't worry, I got it, my lady. Good. Glad you made it. Despite you saying no, you still made it in. I guess it didn't count. I read it anyway, right?
I just.
Alright, Lady Rain's in the lead.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
Actually, Jay's in the lead.
You're over there.
How did that happen?
He's cheating.
I think so.
He's not even here to control his
I know.
marble. What the hell? I literally have my controller out right now.
Oh, lady's back in the lead. Look at this.
As I should be.
Well, if mods win, we always drug test them. That's what I say.
Who wants a bite?
No, I'm good actually.
Mm-mm-mm.
I actually have a hamburger, which is weird.
I'm trying to. I don't know if Dalton wants to make burgers
Cheers.
or hot dogs tonight.
Yeah, cheers.
Mm.
Yeah, I grilled today, and it was one of
Well,
my
we
best
can't
grills.
grill, so we just throw it on the stove.
Yeah.
Hot dog is faster. Depends on how energetic y'all are feeling.
Yeah.
It's
and
late at
also,
night.
Like,
I love grilling because let the just let it
this is
sit
not
there
gonna
for
fit
like
me
an hour.
anymore.
They're very appropriate
Oh, jeez.
food for the July 4th. And Rain, you jumped
Already
off the
got yeeted
track.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not right.
I couldn't.
She decided she was going for food. Welcome! Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you!
Also,
See if I can find my mouse.
Cucumbers.
For some reason, I'm also mousing left-handed, so I don't know what's going on here. Welcome, thank you for the follow!
it's an awesome fun.
Diet Bob. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. I'm definitely not dieting. Don't judge me too much.
No, it looks like you're eating coal and
What?
What?
I don't think these are gonna fit.
No, it looks like
Obsidian and
coal.
magma.
No, yeah, it looks like coal and like lava.
Mhm.
Basically, while you're
I'm gonna
eating.
cry if these don't.
I did not mean to hit that. Look at Axel Pingo go. Look at that star in those wings and that 8,
I'm not even
6,
finished.
1. Look at you.
I have to find
I'm
out.
too busy having
But
fun.
GG, Dusty. Congrats.
Oh, where's
Leave
the-
him making on the track then.
Welcome, everyone.
I wanted you guys away from me.
it's true.
Wait for you.
No, 'cause I was finishing. At the end.
Finish it.
Alright, get your marble on the right. The track, guys. The thing, the stuff. Exclamation point. Making noise here. I join this race too. I play and win this. I fight on the tracks. Oh my goodness. I don't think you made it this time. Joffrey! Welcome, Joffrey!
No, I don't know that guy.
I don't think you made it this time, Letty. I think you confused it.
Okay.
Oh, you did make it! You're over there on the right. I see you now. You cover all the commands. Mm-hmm. You're just gonna have like that programmed on your Steam Deck that you can just hit it and not have to worry about it. Can somebody give Bloody a shout out, pretty please? Thank you. And Momo.
I'm in a different room, so I can't.
When's
change
Momo's
everything.
next stream? Thank you, Shane.
That's a massive paragraph.
It is, ain't it?
Here goes Diet Bob.
Oh hell yeah, Hogwarts Legacy, let's go.
Really piece of dude.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was what Momo was playing last.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Liddy. You're welcome, Momo. I'm gonna read these descriptions to myself. Another mayhem Monday for Bloody.
Even though I have like the subpar Switch version of that game, I still love it.
I love reading these
There's really so much
descriptions.
you can do.
They're pretty accurate most of the time.
Of course, I'm very biased, but
Okay.
Kimono, I thought it was a joke after a while, but is you continually eating it? I was like, what?
I gotta get these chocolate donuts gone because they are really starting to melt all over the Cheetos, and I'm not happy about it.
I don't know what.
No.
Is
Your
it. Like, do
taco
I have to
be
call
hot
like
and your ingredients
like,
fresh. No.
call for help for you? Or I don't know.
You guys are my support, so that's on you to figure out how to help me.
We all just leave and have like a private call.
Yeah, we have Axel in the lead, followed by Diet Bob, Splints, Joffrey, Clumsy, Bloody, all fighting. Oh, Diet Bob's back. It's between Axel and Diet Bob fighting back and forth as Joffrey and Desi fall off the track.
Come on,
Spicy
Michigan.
chocolate, yes.
Michigan,
Chocolate
you got
covered?
the proper.
Chocolate covered Cheetos. Diet Bob gets first place. Yeah.
That's definitely rigged.
Beginner's luck. At least on my stream.
They're ranked up.
Alright, let's go. Let's go. Next race is Death Alley. How many of you will survive Death Alley?
I decided not to go there. I was at the bar next to it.
I love all the cat sounds. Can we just say how much I love the cat sounds when you guys enter and such?
No.
I love kitty cats.
No.
I love them. Let's get ready to play! Exclamation play! More marbles. Boo boo.
No, Mona, I never would have guessed that, considering part of your name has cat in it.
Right?
I thought she was dog. No.
So I was checking out this streamer yesterday that somebody was like, hey, you gotta come check them out. They're a VTuber. They're a cat in a kimono. And I was like, okay. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna hit the follow button and hope they don't think I named themselves just I named myself just to reflect them and what they look like. So cute.
Well, that's why you
That'd
followed
be
me.
hilarious.
Hey, thank you for the follow. Hey, KimonoKat. It was so cute. It was such a cute reaction they had to my follow. It was very cute. I just was like, I had to. They were a cat and a kimono.
Alright, this is the last one. I don't think I have enough energy for the rest.
Alright, here we go.
It's even better because with you, it's even better because you actually wear the kimono and don't hide behind the little VTuber model.
Yeah. I do think VTuber models are cool though. Sometimes I think I want one. I don't think I would use it all the time though. That's the thing. I would like pick. I think if I was playing like Genshin and Zenless and stuff like that, if I had more time to play those games, I would definitely be like in VTuber mode the whole time I played the gacha games because it just makes sense. For those games to me more than any of them. Oh no, we lost Molly. Lost Michigan.
Might be the
Right?
only way that I might.
Oh yeah, lose me. I just
Oh,
failed to
I'm
win.
gone. Bye. I fell.
That or 20 years from now, if I'm still streaming in Ancient, I might want to hide my face.
When we all have our canes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Michigan. What'd you say, Michigan? You didn't what?
What'd you say? Something about
When
we all have what?
Canes.
Oh yeah, canes.
Yeah.
You said something about
Sunny!
fail to win.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, like when I fell off.
Sunny, when I was your age.
I didn't fail to win.
Sounds like that's like an oversimplified reference
Yes, it was.
Ow.
from the Civil War video. I didn't lose.
Yes.
I merely
No.
failed to win.
Yes, that's what you heard it from. It's good that you know. But yeah, it is very true. Yes, I'm not gonna say it was not. It was definitely not mine.
Only the
watched
best of the
videos.
best will survive Death Alley.
Yeah, those are some really good videos. Yeah.
Because in like high school, if you were learning
best of
that
the
way,
best.
like you would have actually picked it up a little bit more.
I think Shane's
Right.
using cheat codes though.
I get eaten by the ball,
Probably.
aren't I?
Mm-hmm.
Please don't do that.
Shane is using hacks.
Well, I'm just so scared of those people.
I call hacks. Splints is trying to get through the Steve eggs down there. Make it this way.
For all the crap I put up with today, I feel like I'm just. I
Should
deserve
win
to
at something. Mm-hmm.
You have to win.
Mm-hmm.
Hold off now. You can do it.
Well, I'm sure you're missing the best part of the night.
No.
Not being at the hospital with everybody coming in with blown off fingers and sparklers in their eyes and.
No, he'll get to deal with it tomorrow.
Well,
Are you off?
I'll be there the weekend. I'm off tomorrow. I'll be there the weekend.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. They'll be shooting them off every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, I was concerned, like, because on the way home from work, there was just a huge thunderstorm. I was like, and there was like 3 inches of standing water everywhere, and I was like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I'm gonna see some of these people at work though over the weekend.
Probably.
It's sad that like every time I see like a wreck or a potential wreck, I'm like, I'm gonna see them tomorrow, or I'm gonna see them in the next couple days.
No.
Yeah.
Exclamation play, guys! Exclamation play! That's such a cute emote. I love the kitty, like, hanging over that end of the box. That's so fine. Cute, cute. And guys, if you hadn't been here in a while, I did add some new kitty emotes. Quite a few of them, actually. Eek, I play to get yeeted. Alright, I'll make sure you get yeeted, Bloody. I will do my best.
Welcome back.
Yes! Momo with the ball of yarn. Love it.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I bought that for him. There you go. This is costing him too. Why is this in here?
My food should
Thank
be
you, thank you, thank you.
45 minutes.
Food.
There in 20, take it back.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Me.
Alright, here we go.
Come on,
Ooh, we'll
Michigan.
get heated first.
Come on, Michigan.
Ooh, well, Steve, give a hard time to.
One person that I will allow to win is, but I took over.
Steve is giving me and Diabob and Jay a hard time back here. Especially Jay. Jay's gonna get left behind because of Steve.
Well, I punched Steve right in the face. I was like, get out of here.
Yeah, that's probably my own fault, that one.
Alright. Who goes down the funnel first?
What's this one?
Splint.
Hey, Splint, your shoes untied.
The Splint is really flying. Kimono, yes, saw them posted in Discord. They look pretty. Thanks. I'm glad you like them. I'm glad.
Yeah, Splint, you have to stay for 2 seconds. It's actually a marble wall. And then let us pass you.
Oh, Splint pushed you off, Michigan. He pushed you right off the track. He said, boy, he's like, push. You know, nobody was close enough to actually witness it, so I'm just assuming that's what happened. Because they were both up there in the lead together.
Well, he stabbed me in the kidney and pushed me off.
Yeah, be careful, Molly. Splint's pushing people off. Careful.
I was like, Splint is my best friend, and I was all happy and all that, and then stabbed.
I'm gonna see if I can, you know.
And he's like, fuck you, or frick you.
Can I use some
Am I
hacks here?
catching up? I am.
Huh?
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, Blitz! He got the win, but still fell off. No, he fell off. It didn't count as a
He
win.
fell off.
Oh, dang.
Too dang fast.
Diet
You're
Bob.
too busy stabbing. You're just like, stab.
Oh, no, Diet Bob went up too. Come on, lady. Lady.
Nobody can win.
No! Come on, Jay.
Alright. A nice cruising bike.
Jay. Can you do it? Can you get in this moving bucket at the end? The problem is this thing moves. I think. Does it move?
Well,
No, it's
He
not.
has
Can be interesting.
He has,
It's not even moving.
he has a cruising
Because we
bike.
hit the jump, we're just going too fast.
He has a
You guys
cruising
were just
bike,
too
so he's cruising.
fast.
Well, I got stabbed, so it's like.
Y'all were just going too fast. He is bloody. He did KimonoKat. Ooh! Wow.
Close. That was real close.
You couldn't have planned that better than that, bloody.
But he finally made
I
it.
forgot I had it. I honestly forgot I had a yeeted command. That's the terrible part. Sorry, Axel. I'm gonna bite somebody. I bit myself. Ah. Okay.
Mono,
Oh, we
gosh,
need-
you're so slow.
I'm gonna give some hugs. I haven't given hugs yet this stream. Oh, Shane gets the cookies.
More cookies.
500
At least you
cookies.
didn't get. At least you didn't get donuts.
Actually, I didn't get donuts. My acting charge nurse today actually pitched in and got us all milkshakes from Chick-fil-A.
Aww, that's cool.
That tastes good. Like I'm tasting it right now.
I feel like I've had way too much sugar already. It's got so
I
much
know,
to
like
go.
I literally said that earlier, like a kid, like on Halloween, and then you're gonna crash.
I am. Crisis! Welcome! Exclamation tacos. We need a tacos one.
What's up, Crisis?
Alright, guys, get your marble on the track. Up, one cheek claimed. I guess the next one. Here's cheek number 2. We're gonna do it this way. We're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4 based on who does it.
Burn my butt.
Taco Cat wants to play.
Well,
Yes, Taco Cat!
It is 4th of July. We're always burning.
You know I created a mug and a t-shirt for that, right, Bloody? It's somewhere in my merch store. There's a Taco Cat.
Isn't there
I actually drew that one. Some of the art in there I actually made, and that's one of the ones I actually made. Oh, sub sandwich sounds so good. Now I'm wanting like real food.
Well, that's a $5 foot long.
Gengar wants a sub too. Alright guys, we got 10 racers on the track. Let's see where this goes.
Well,
Kitty!
my ball has number 1 on it.
Kitty, num num num. I like that too. Kitty.
Start like that. Cool.
Jay, look at you again in the lead. Followed closely by Molly the Onion. Gonna catch up with you. I love that Molly is like literally an onion. Oh. Onion! Joffrey, you have an onion chasing you. Just saying.
No. Get away.
You're being chased by an onion, Joffrey. Run! Oh, Steve got Joffrey.
No.
See where Jay is. Jay's no longer in the lead. Oh, here's all these blackers back here with Steve.
I'm just relaxing.
Crisis and Splints are just dancing with Steve right now. Oh, look at Crisis using the KimonoKat marble. Look at that. Alright.
Crisis is getting pooped.
Look at that speed on Molly. Go, go, Molly, go.
Because I'm gonna become a potato, so I might
My balls just getting smacked around. Yes, it is. Lurk, they're starting up. Gonna see if anyone is missing fingers yet. Good luck, Bloody. I hope no one's missing fingers. Good luck. GG, Molly. Congratulations.
I love onions, though, so it's like.
Yes, I hope nobody is missing fingers.
Can't
I hope you find what the KimonoBot. Enjoy lurking, Bloody. I hope you find all fingers intact when you're attacked.
Oh my god.
I didn't write that. Change it from my name to the bot's name, but I can't remember what bot I used. I can't remember the name of the bot. I'm terrible.
I love that.
Didn't write that. Enjoy your lurk, Momo. Take your time to snack and relax while we roll some marbles. Yay! Just wanted to see what it said. Everybody goes into lurk mode just to see the message. Enjoy lurk. We'll keep the marbles rolling for you.
Oh, that's lame.
Take a break to lurk. Enjoy your time from the marbles. Tripped. Oh my god. Because Onion's winning. Here we go. Last race of the Grand Prix, guys. Last race. Enemy at the gate. Dun, 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 dun.
That sounds scary.
The fingers were really something, right? And it's gonna base it totally off the last message he said. Thank you, Bloody. I hope you enjoyed that message, Bloody, about the fingers. Oh my gosh.
Jeffrey, you don't have to be so angry when you say play because we don't like anger here.
All caps, because he's very angry.
He's like,
Never.
It's because my
Blah.
should talk is
It was
caps.
obviously a joke. You're like a very calm, spiritual.
Time to get more serious. Happy 4th, Afro! Welcome! Exclamation play to join the race, guys! I hope you're doing awesome, Afro. I hope you're having a fun day.
I hope all the Americans are realizing. I don't know what we're realizing, but.
I finally ate the last donut.
It's like, man, where are you going with this?
Yeah,
No,
more
no.
serious looking ball. Oh no.
No, it's more like a joke. But then I realized.
That you're not funny? Ah.
Vancouver's not giving
Whoa.
me the
Whoa, the sound coming from this thing.
I can't hear it because I don't want to hear double.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's fine.
did too. Yeah.
You're chilling on COD right now? Enjoy, enjoy.
Describe the sound for us.
Like a spooky game with like metal gates hitting the ground. Boom, 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 and
Oh.
I don't know, just really loud,
Skeleton.
ominous, echoey,
Gotcha.
falling sounds. Like a steel gate fell on the ground or something. How was your day, Kimono? It is good. It is good. I am having fun torturing everybody with my girl dinner here.
No,
I
women
died.
dinner, because you are allowed to eat it.
Oh, I'm
Like,
glad
girl,
I'm
like,
still
get to
on
your
the
room.
track.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh my god, what is that?
Don't,
Cheetos!
No.
Her gamer girl dinner. It's fucking weird.
Cheetos and Skittles gummies, and it did have chocolate donuts in it, but those are gone now.
Gummies. It was.
I ate all the chocolate donuts.
This is why I never wanted to be a dentist, because right now I'd be like, what the.
Woo! Momo got first place.
Because it's business.
At least I made it.
Momo got first place, followed by Shane. Somebody just jumped really high. Michigan.
Dude,
Jumped really high, but you still made it. Oh wait, no
I was
bloody.
showing off. I did like a backflip.
That's paid off, right? The bats are good luck for you.
I did a backflip.
Bloody taking a good old time, but that wall is catching up back there.
No.
Bats, did he get ejected or something? I don't think he finished. He did finish. Alright, drum roll.
I'm gonna get like 9th place.
I think Clumsy Mammo's got it.
Drum roll. Let's go! Third place goes to Bob. Congrats for third place. Second place goes to Jay with a cute little sheep marble. First place goes to Shane. Congrats, Shane.
Okay, I was wrong.
How do you get just a white marble? How do you do that?
Because I only type play, I don't specify.
Looks like a.
Yeah, but it's supposed to give you a random one, I thought. But I guess not.
There's more.
I'm just special, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought when you just type play, it gives you a random one, but maybe not.
Honestly, yeah, I think it is random sometimes.
Look at me in last place.
It wasn't me. Didn't catch me in last place.
Alright. I think the name might be Die Cross Bob. Is it Die Cross?
Yeah, it looks like a cross.
Oh.
Closely.
Maybe. Only one of us knows. Alright, guys. Exclamation play to get your marble on the track. Exclamation play. Let's go. And Desi gets burnt this time. For Army. See, what commands are the sound commands? How do I see them again? Sub. Maybe it's just sub. There we go. That was easy.
That was easy.
They're not all on there, I don't think. And then cookies should be the other ones. By Nico. Oh, Nico's on there. Nico.
You have a lot of cookies.
900. I mean 9,000. 100. Oh my god. There you go.
It's
Over 9,000. Yes. I need the sound for that. Oh. Oh, Cat and Lady lead the way. Followed by Axel. Go girls, go girls. Oh! That's an extra. Is that what you ordered? Is that what you ordered, Jay? Did you order a giant sub sandwich?
Yeah, I
I
did.
want to eat that.
You did? Nice.
Yeah. That
Was
and
it my
a bottle of Coke.
Was it my emote? Was it my emote that made you want a sub sandwich?
Yeah, it did.
It does look delicious. It makes me hungry when I look at it.
I'll be there in a couple days.
It'd be gone before then, mate.
No, just keep like a lettuce, just a one little lettuce in.
Gonna get one of those 5-foot subs.
Order those in advance. They take a while to make.
Yeah.
The 6-foot subs or whatever they are.
Oh yeah,
It
they're
sounds
6
so
foot,
good,
aren't they?
and I don't want to talk
Braid
about
the
it.
bread together. It takes forever.
It does sound very good, and I just don't want to talk because it makes me hungry. And I'm like,
It sounds like you had to make them before.
I used to work at
Oh,
But yeah,
so you
that's,
had to make subs.
You took
that's
the
pretty
subway
much
to
my dinner
I'm
for
an
the night.
artiste.
You're like, what?
Jay in first, followed by Axel, Lady, and Jesse.
Wow, you're really an artist.
No, I just put some. It works.
You were a sandwich artist.
I'm starting to believe I'm a grill artist.
I made every sandwich as if I was gonna eat it, right?
Like, I want you guys to taste my meat.
What?
No, hamburger. Come
Excuse
on.
me?
What?
You guys are weird. I'm talking about.
No, I heard what I heard.
Yeah, because your brain is weird too.
I heard what I heard.
Because your brain is also.
No.
I wonder
Words.
if this
I
works.
was talking about. I cook good.
Mm-hmm.
Cook meat.
I
That-
cook good.
I don't think it did.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Exclamation play, guys, if you're lurking and listening, exclamation play.
Hey, Splints, do you have to work tomorrow? Do you guys get like the next day
Yeah,
off?
I cooked your butt.
We're working from
No,
home.
So we're
they
Michigan.
give you.
No,
Yeah,
it
they
did
give
work.
you.
I'm at the bottom.
I just wasn't sure because it
No,
landed
yeah,
on
they.
Thursday. I wasn't sure if
they
they give
don't-
you guys the next day off. or
No,
something.
they don't
No, but
care. They want you to go
close
to
the
work.
office so that we work from home.
Yeah,
Which I
they
would've
want
been
you to
anyways,
be.
but yeah.
They want you
So
to be
please.
hungover. Go nowhere.
I
You don't
did
have tomorrow off,
only
Splits?
55
Oh, dang.
and it actually worked. What the hell?
I have tomorrow off.
It was worse a couple weeks back. We had one on a Wednesday.
Oh, I hate that.
What holiday was that?
Don't remember.
All holidays should fall on a Monday, Friday. All holidays should fall on a Monday or a
It
Friday.
was the 19th of June. Juneteenth.
It used to be a requirement.
Yeah, to be fair though, like the 2nd of July is the proper.
you're in
Sorry, man.
you're in the
Sorry,
quotes
man,
forever.
I had to do it.
Oh no.
I want you to taste my meat.
Yo, Michigan, you're a quote forever.
I don't care about that because I cook some good meat.
wait until Thor and Rose do that.
Way later.
I still wouldn't care. Like,
Molly's in the lead.
like I'm getting
I just
good at it. Sorry.
checked my step counter on my phone. I nearly hit 12,000 steps today.
Wow.
I do that.
That is a lot. Molly! Michigan! No! The
Especially
storm
when
is
I'm running
evil.
up and down hallways all day.
Well, yeah, yours is more.
Hey, you got all that indoors. That's impressive.
Oh,
I have enough to.
Stuart.
Like I average 8,000 because I like to walk my trailer park.
Kat's got her cheat codes on. Joffrey's trying to make it through the storm up there. Joffrey did not make it through the storm.
No.
Momo just snuck by me and got first place. I swear Momo was cheating the most today. Momo has the most cheats today.
Oh, I got third place. I'm happy with that. But yeah, how many marbles has this game got?
I mean, if there were prizes tonight, Momo would be winning them all.
Yeah, true.
Usually always die off. Exclamation play, guys! Exclamation play! Really need to move my Steam Deck closer, like way over there. Now it's probably not the time to do it, but it's like
Well,
way out of my reach.
here's everyone's favourite number. Here we go.
69. Play 69. I don't have 69 marbles available, but we'll see which one you get.
Oh, I think it's actually put me in there.
Oh, you're all the
Or in
fireworks.
there, you just don't have a ball. Or a random one or something.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to hit the start button. Do that.
I'm definitely sorting my favorite over here.
But I can hear all the city fireworks going off.
Like I was just
360 degrees around me. It's crazy.
no, I feel
Yeah.
like it's like Civil War where you walk outside and it's just a
Yeah,
massive
it's 9 o'clock.
battle.
It's time for all the fireworks.
Massive battle outside. Like, what's that?
Yeah.
And then the train going by. I also hear a train too.
Yeah, they're all going off out here now as well.
Well, we're celebrating. Yeah, I'm hearing it also.
They haven't gone off here yet.
But it's more funny, like you. Not funny. But
I mean, I've been hearing the regular ones all day, but the city ones are loud.
not 100%. There's some motors, like $1,000 motor
Mm-hmm.
motors.
Whee! Fear of heights. Oh boy. Joffrey in the lead. He's rocking a little bit side to side though. That's dangerous. Oh, he barely stayed on that track. Jay fell off.
Dang it.
I feel like Momo was gonna find a way to come in first though.
That number wasn't good luck after all.
Yeah, I fell off.
Although Momo didn't make it in. Momo!
No,
She didn't even join!
what's
She's
wrong?
still gonna get first place on the podium somehow, watch. Didn't even bother to race, and she'll get first place.
Well, we had to get all our papers in exactly at. Everybody's going down the tube.
There we go. Joffrey's still in the lead, followed by Desi. And Axel and Molly. Joffrey been making it through the first part of Steve. Nope, Steve hung him up.
No,
Now
he
Desi's
wants
in
to go
the lead.
dancing. He wants to go dancing with Steve.
Yep. So now Desi and Axel. Axel's now in the lead.
I'm way back there. Jeez, I can see me.
Joffrey is just still dancing. Joffrey decided dancing was more important than winning.
Hey, dancing is winning.
Alright, Desi went in, and so did Axel. Congrats.
I don't even want to finish. Ball, jump.
Oh, there goes Machine. No, Molly, come back. That's the wrong way.
Oh, I was like, jump, and then my ball almost did.
You know, I saw
Yes,
little
Chi-Chi
baby
Desi.
food that I have for Brooke's baby food.
Yeah,
Aw.
that is literally for babies.
Literally, yeah. It's easy to get.
I love the butterfly marble, Desi.
I had to feed my niece many times that sentence.
Alright, 3 more tracks, 3 more tracks. Let's see if Momo makes it in this time. You guys are in trouble. She made it in.
Oops.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I almost
Along with
didn't do it.
all the other cats.
I'm playing simple. I'm not putting. My ball's gonna be random. I'm playing a volleyball apparently, so it's good.
Thanks.
Jay. Yeah, paybacks.
It's hot enough out here as it is at the moment.
Splints is just flicking everybody tonight. The
Damn.
crisis this time. 20 seconds to get your marble on the track.
That's the first time I've used that command today.
No, your time's out. I said you, right?
Yes, got your back.
You did. Totally got me back. Ooh, that hurt.
I want a lick.
Alright. Somebody got left behind. Again, 2 people got left behind this time. I don't know who it
I
was.
almost did. I wasn't paying attention. Somebody was talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
People talk to people? What?
2 people got left behind this time. Last time it was 1.
I'm a Red Wings fan, so I'll probably win.
6! Welcome! Happy 4th of July, 6! How are you feeling? I hope you're feeling better. Party people, we're doing good.
Yeah, exactly. Happy America Day.
Mm-hmm. Just sore? You want some girl dinner? Girl dinner makes it better.
Oh my god.
No.
No,
They
it
don't
doesn't.
want to see you going to
Don't
the
listen to
bathroom
her.
tomorrow.
Girl dinner makes it all better. No, thank you.
You're making me feel better about having McDonald's breakfast.
It's getting worse and worse.
I've had burgers and fries today, and I'm happy as happy. My own burgers, like I said. And I killed the cow this guy, so yes.
Jay! Dang!
Well, he's
Oh, Shane missed the bowl. Molly missed the bowl.
It's like pouring milk in a bowl, and you completely miss the bowl.
Right. Still made it! Joffrey did it!
I don't want to make it.
Only 2 people made it into the bowl. Jay and Axel. Do you drink water? Thank you, I need some water.
Water is against religion. That's what
Mhm.
people say to me.
Well, apparently so is meat eating meat on a Friday, but I don't care. I'm not religious.
Jeez.
Oh, there they go.
Like I
Your
said,
turn.
you guys need to taste mine.
Join!
It's been a
Exclamation play to get your marble on the track. Exclamation play.
I put the right enough pepper in my. Oh, sorry. Talking about my meat being so.
Oh, Lady got burned this time. Ashley's gonna be salty. Alright. Let's see what random quote we get.
I didn't realize though, if you had a girl, I would have clicked something.
How did I hit quote? Oh, because Jay hit burn.
No, he burnt my butt.
We're gonna break it. That's so long ago. My God.
1842.
I can't believe I've had the quotes going that long ago.
Yeah, play okay.
In Borderlands, one of them's the water gun.
Sorry, yeah, Joe. I used to have a grill. I used to have
No,
a
you-
really big, like.
Taking a break from the
16-inch
chaos
grill
with a
that
lurk.
could raise and lower the
Huh?
bed of
Enjoy your lurking adventures.
I know, I love just being out there for like an hour.
Chaos!
watching-
Yes! Ah, Jay, you got Michigan's newest quote. Look at you! Sexy. Oh, jeez. That one just got added today, by the way.
Like I said.
Yep. And then Michigan makes first place as well. Look at that.
I'm just.
Followed by
waiting,
Axel and Joffrey.
I'm just waiting.
Momo has just not been in it though since she forgot to play one round, so we'll see what happens.
Where am I? Make it in?
You made it in the bowl, but Let's see if you still have what it takes to make the podium, though.
Did you? I didn't see.
I didn't even see my name on the list.
Yeah, me either.
Oh, I didn't finish.
You fell off. Splints fell off. Jace fell off. Molly fell off.
You will finish one day. But it's not this one.
Next man. Join for Frozen, guys. Join. I am the podium.
I'm used to being.
Oh.
Yeah,
Momo.
I'm used to this weather, so this is perfect.
I still not.
Yay! Okay, we're gonna hit start. So, roar. Axel gets it this time.
If the people from the north do not win this, this is rigged.
It is rigged if we don't.
Yeah, like
From I'm happy, Yankee. Does that
There you
count?
go.
I'm happy. No,
Boot.
I'm talking about
I can do that one.
Yeah.
Joven with snow going that way.
Mhm.
It's just
No,
like,
you technically live in the south, so you don't count.
well,
Let's
I'm
see.
South
Even if it is
Canadian,
north,
so-
Carolina.
Yeah.
I'm the most north here that everyone
Mhm.
talking.
No, I am Southern
You are.
Canada, so
Actually, I want to say you're the most north and west.
6 gets bit.
Could
What?
be.
Lynn's gonna stop booping people.
Hi, Papa. I
Mm-hmm.
know you don't like the fireworks. You want some of your Thunder Tree?
I usually go boop.
They probably do need their hyped up treats.
No, you get no more treats.
Give the cats some catnip and the dogs some dog nip, whatever that is.
You had enough
Just
catnip.
pondering that, I'm like, do dogs have a catnip analog?
I don't know if they actually
Not that I'm aware of.
do they. A bone maybe. I don't know.
I guess they just get a sedative. You can give dogs Benadryl. There you go. Knock them out. I'm muting myself on you guys.
Yeah.
Protecting myself.
That's great.
I was just say you can give dogs Benadryl. Maybe that'll work. I don't know.
Give a dog a bone.
He has Thunder Treats. Thunder Wonders. They work really well for him.
Cool.
Dog gummies?
I've heard of people putting their dogs in the bathroom and running the water and turning the fan on just so they can't hear the fireworks.
Oh, yeah, we're talking
he's
about that.
okay. He'll hide in there if he wants
Why
to, but
is
he
the
usually
like
gets
My
this?
me.
dog never hated fireworks, but most dogs, I guess so.
But this helps them a lot.
Because they think war's happening. It's like, okay.
Yeah. It's got hemp seed, chamomile, thiamine, passion flower, ginger, L-tryptophan, and melatonin.
And
Oh.
Yeah,
It's like some turkey.
sorry, I never had.
I didn't realize the game wasn't being captured correctly. I'm so slow.
It works
that.
really well.
I have it muted, so I can't listen to it.
We do
Well,
have
it was
the
cutting
background
off like the
too.
#1 player and all the stats
Well,
across
yeah,
the top.
I saw that last time, but I don't know why.
You should have said something. Romo, fix your stuff. Fix your stuff already.
Fix yourself, God.
I mean, really, I don't stare at my screen the whole time. I stare at chat.
Why not? That's good.
Naughty?
I thought it was because
Yeah.
I had my window sized. I didn't realize.
I actually did the same thing when I was trying to get that window. I did the same thing. When I realized it wasn't, and then I still did. So.
Let's go. I don't know. We're gonna see who gets here. I mean, this one's so
Come
hard to
on,
watch,
Michigan.
everybody. Because this one's just
Oh.
like a mess.
Michigan, you're used to the snow. Come on.
But Jay is like way down here now. Headed in for the win, as always. Should I say as
He has
always?
A motorbike. He has a motorbike trying to.
Look
go
at him.
over the snow.
No.
Yeah, ever
Well, I
since you
just-
And there goes Jay. For the win.
Ooh, I lost a lot of momentum.
How do I pull?
Now I'll see who else gets it.
Well, it's actually
Watch closer. There you go.
It's actually opposite.
We can watch a little closer. Oh, Splints with a beautiful spiral. Yay!
I'm gonna do a backflip right when I get.
But Jay got first place. I love all the noises though. Yay! And meow, meow, meow. Oh, y'all are waiting on me. I'm the slow one this time.
Well, you had to make sure your family was first.
Now I gotta go find that code.
Can y'all hear the stuff in my background? It's so loud.
No, I don't actually.
No.
Because we're here together,
Okay.
I have it at like 3.
Do you?
I hear myself.
My microphone's doing good at not picking up all the big boom boom.
Yeah, I have that muted, and I have obviously you up on Discord, and I don't hear it.
Well,
Even if I
this was wondering if Discord picked it up.
if I unmute the stream, I
Oh.
can't even hear the game. I could just hear Kimono.
Well, I don't want to talk to him yet.
Alright, guys, here we go. Third place goes to Desi Spark. Congratulations, Desi! Drum roll, yes, Momo. Second place goes to Jay. Woo! I bet Momo's in first then. Let's see. It's Momo. Because I thought Jay had first. I thought he took it over. No, it's Axel! Woo!
Saul actually. Right,
Look at that.
Because
Cute panda marble too. Ice cream on top. GG Axel. I didn't win that much. I just gotta give you a hard time, Momo. Congratulations, GG Axel.
Right, back in a bit, guys. Me food's here.
yeah, your championship win.
Okay.
or
Get your
something.
food. Special. Okay, we've done those. That set. We did that set. Now we're gonna do these.
Oh, cool.
There we go. Giving me a hard time. I got to. It's just all in the sake of love. We love you, Momo. Alright, exclamation play to get your marble on the chart, guys. Exclamation play.
What is love?
What is love?
Not
Got to
that.
do with it. Got to do with it.
Don't hurt
That's
me.
not the one that.
Don't
I know.
That's not the one that I think we were thinking
No
of.
more.
Everybody's gonna go off soon.
We're gonna combine some
I have to
stuff.
go talk to White?
Okay.
Okay. Go talk to the brother.
Baby, don't hurt me. No. What? When? Wait. Exclamation play to get your marble on the track, guys! Exclamation play! Hurry, hurry, hurry! 30 seconds! If you're lurking and listening, you got 30 seconds.
I'm gonna win, so I'm not gonna even be here because I'm just a winner.
With who?
And a whiner.
Who?
If I don't win, you guys all cheat.
Alright. 9 people.
For now.
Yeah. The water park ride has begun.
Oh no, now I actually think I do hear some kind of knocking sound. I think it's coming from you.
Yeah, probably.
Tried listening really hard. I was like, actually, I do think I hear something.
That's because all my neighbors around here are setting off stuff now. Now that the city's done, all the neighbors are doing it.
Oh, okay.
And I swear they all drive across the border, a couple borders, to go get them. To get the big ones that go in the pipes. So they can shoot in the air.
Yeah, people here in NC usually have to cross either into South Carolina.
South Carolina.
The big
That's where they go from Florida all the way to South Carolina to go get them. They're not allowed to get them, but they don't get in trouble. Nobody gets in trouble.
Man,
It's
that's a
really
long
hard
way.
to enforce that.
Mm-hmm.
What's Georgia's law on that? Because that seems like a long way to go all the way to South Carolina.
You can't have them in Georgia either. You gotta go all the way to South Carolina border. Usually people are already traveling during the year or something and stop at that place that has them year round and they pick them up and save them for
Oh, yeah.
My grandpa used to
events like this. So they're like, I'm already traveling, so yeah, if they're traveling at any point through South Carolina, they'll pick them up.
Yeah, once you got into Indiana.
Hi, Kimono! Hi, Brandon! Welcome to the stream!
My workplace.
Exclamation play, join the race, guys! Exclamation play to get your marble on the track. It is going good. Thank you, Rando. I hope yours is going good too.
Or dropping like flies, apparently.
That's so.
What?
We've had like 2 or 3 people.
Where did Michigan go?
Michigan just got disconnected, I think.
Yeah, he came back and then all of a sudden,
Yeah, it's just being wonky.
having that Discord apocalypse again where everybody couldn't
Oh,
join
yeah.
any channels.
Right.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
We were like jumping between other people's channels.
Oh,
just to
I should hit
participate.
start. Dang it. There we go. Exclamation play, you guys got a little bit more time. I'm glad to hear it. Yes. I hope you're doing good. I hope you said it's okay. It's okay. I mean, you made it here. Hopefully you're healthy and well.
You are what?
And treated yourself to some kind of snacks today. 30 seconds, guys. 30 seconds to get your marble on the track. Exclamation play. Splint, you pooping yourself.
Nose goes.
Let's see. Something along those lines. Good. I'm glad. Good, good, good. As long as you're relaxing, enjoying your evening. Crisis.
You would really like Zenless.
I would like what?
Zenless.
I know. Just got so much going on with work right now. That's why I'm scared to even start it, because I feel like I'll just get even more frustrated because I won't have time to play it.
Alright.
I'm just scared to even start it. The other one I still want to start sometimes is Final Fantasy.
Oh.
Which one?
Oh, yeah, which one?
All of them?
The online.
Oh, 14.
You want to play them all? It's gonna take a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna take a long time.
Yeah. No. No, we won't do that. No, I really wish I had more time.
Let's say,
Like the first one and 7.
Time is snapping, my
if you tried
friend.
to play either like Final Fantasy or Dragon's Quest, that would take a long time to get through them all.
Thought of saying so. Guess it's time to go wash my face to go to bed. Cause you splashed yourself. Yep, time to go splash your face. Time to wash up, Momo. It's getting late for you. Sun will be up soon.
Oh lord. Dang it, I flew off.
Yep. Oh, Momo's in the lead. That's where she's gonna leave. Well, nope, she's not a lead anymore. Lady passed her up. Meow.
My little witch hat.
Yes. We got you a little hat.
Pegs.
First place goes to Liddy. Congrats. Let's see who comes in second. Look at Lady in the bowl all by herself.
Walk by myself.
Yup.
Wanna be
She needs company.
all by
Well, have fun,
myself.
lovelies. Good night. Good seeing you again, Mono, and chat. Good night, Momo. Good to see you too. Sleep well.
Bye,
Thank you for
Momo.
hanging out and playing.
Dead last.
Let's see. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Fine. Let's go.
No balls.
You don't own that ball. No! That sounds like personal problems, Blintz. Join Haunted Hills. Exclamation play to get your marble on the trap. If you're looking good, have you ever owned a pet before? Yes.
Why would you burn me?
I've owned several kitty cats, and as a kid, we had doggos. Kitty cats. I also had a bird. I had a couple birds. I just don't have any pets at the moment. I was really tempted to buy a fish today, though. Your voice sounded so... What, did I sound sad? I want
If
some
I don't
pets.
win this one, I'm gonna be mad.
Hey, I caught a Pokemon.
It's a cauldron.
It's a cauldron. It's perfect for you, right? Adorable. Here's the doggos. Aww. Peace. Yeah. I had doggos as a kid.
I had a fat hamster once, and his name was Tugboat.
It's great.
Tugboat. That sounds so cute. See? Yeah. Rando thinks my voice sounded cute when I said doggos. Yeah, I could do the VTuber thing every now and then. It'd be fun. We were talking about that earlier. Speaking of your voice, have you ever thought about being an English dub anime voice actor? No, I haven't. I do get lots of compliments on my voice, though. I think that would be really fun. I would definitely need training, though, and I feel like it's probably such a hard market to get into, you would think. I don't know. Oh god, I hear zombie sounds. Oh no! Ray! What the heck is happening to Ray? Ray?
Am I winning?
No! You got abducted by a sphere and taken through the wall and died!
Damn it.
I have not seen that! You got abducted by the sphere. Oh my god, and it was talking and saying all kinds of noises.
Damn.
Playing a Halloween game on the 4th of July. Yikes. Rain, you need to watch that back if you get a second, because you need to play it back. You got abducted. I haven't seen that before. And I've played this map so many times. I've never seen anybody get abducted. I wonder if that's something they added. So yeah, but I wonder how hard it is to become a voice actress for anime. Momo could definitely do it. She can hit all kinds of tonal ranges with her voice. I would have to learn how to have more control.
I don't think I could do it.
Can't stay, but have a wonderful stream, Mono. Thank you, Paula. Rain gets abducted by witches. There you go. They were bringing you to become one of them. They saw your witch's hat. They saw your witch's hat, and they were like, "We're abducting you, and you're becoming one of us."
I win.
One of us. Oh, final results: Shane, Joffrey, Splints, Momo, Cat, Desi, and Lady Rin fell off the trucks.
I'm gonna throw it on the mod channel. I don't know.
Oh, sweet, do it. Thanks. So say you can, I don't know, you can probably put it self promos or somewhere. I don't know where to put videos anymore.
Put it.
I don't know where to put them anymore either. I'm just like, all things PC, because it's technically me on a PC playing a game got clipped. I don't know. I don't know. It's all things PC. That kind of covers it. It's a PC game clip. Speaking of the 4th of July, does this game have a 4th of July theme? You know, I wonder if there is a map that's red, white, and blue. There probably is, because people create their own custom maps. So there probably is somewhere. I know there's rainbow colored ones, so I would imagine there's probably red, white, and blue ones. We can look. After we finish the Grand Prix, we can see if we can find one. 30 seconds though, guys! Exclamation play! 30 seconds. That means you, Crisis. You got your butt burnt.
I'm finally starting to hear it around my place.
Why are you going around burning people? Well, it's mostly to notice those lurking and playing that, hey, we're rolling on the tracks again. But I do choose to pick the burn command to make the noise with, so... because it's fun. It's fun to touch the butt. Oh no. Oh. Come on, guys. Who will be shot out of the cannon first and launched across the room? Let's go. Ooh, there goes Desi. There goes Axel. There goes Shane, Cat. Oh, Axel fell. Flint is still stuck, as he determined would happen. Joffrey does not make it. We only have Shane, Desi, and Splints, who is taking his time to get across the way. There he goes. Will he survive? No, he does not. No. You missed the goal there. Oh, down to Shane and Desi. Shane and Desi both fighting for first place. Well. They make it over. See if they'll make it past the pegs without getting launched off the track. They do. They clearly make it. Looks like Shane's gonna get it. Shane with all the wins tonight. Look at that. Yeah.
buddy.
Alright. Wouldn't that be considered assault though? Yeah, if it was real life and it wasn't just make believe dragon burning your booty, yeah. Let's see.
I just thought of something. Since it's 4th of July, we should have somebody try to sing the anthem. Who's up?
No, no.
That would be very, very hard.
Considering, I don't know. Not everybody's US, but yeah.
No, they're all gonna go. No, just kidding, sorry.
Alright, we're gonna hit
Head
start. You have.
I mean, it's not the. I know the Canadian
others?
national anthem too.
I actually do too,
Okay,
but
here
I
we go.
watch so much hockey.
We're gonna use the goat sound. I wonder if I use the goat sound if it'll trigger Crisis. He's probably gonna be muted by now.
Oh, Joe's having a fire.
I can't have fireworks, so I had a fireplace.
It worked! It worked!
Oh, I didn't do play.
Now I know how to get Crisis' attention. Just use the goat sound. Just use the goat sound and he comes running. Now we know. Imagine there being a monkey laugh sound effect. That would be cool.
Okay.
Splint's again in the lead for a very short moment. Joffrey takes over. Go, Splint, go. Followed by KimonoKat and Lady Rain. All you see is her little witch's hat across the other way, just sticking over the rails just a little bit. Oh, Desi. Desi and Cat. It's gonna be a fight. Let's go! Cat and Desi take it to the Steves. Oh, Desi gets slowed down by Steve. Splint speeds right past both Steves. Now they go into the crazy Steves, as I call them. Cat's still zooming past all the crazy Steves. Man. Cat almost getting a new record here. Almost, not quite. Christ, it's getting beat up by the crazy Steves.
Jaffron's the one who has the highest record.
On this one? Weird.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, for my
Stream.
yep, for my stream, Jaffron, your name's at the top right.
Yeah, I see that.
Jaffron! You're the fastest. What a fastest. But you know, I just realized that this is still. Hold on, what is that? I don't even know. There. The text is still down there. I guess it's down there though because for a reason. Marbles. Come on, Shane. Shane's tired. Oh no! Shane, that is not the way to the basket. That's the way to the field.
Oh, no.
Wait, what?
We're like
oh,
all
why?
patiently waiting for you.
He's going to pick some cabbage or some lettuce, whatever that is.
Looks like it might be some lettuce.
Yeah, for all
Maybe,
I know,
like,
that could be a
Mhm.
tobacco plant.
That's what I was
Cool
thinking.
apple.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. It was tobacco.
Well,
That or
definitely
it's
looks
just
like
like
romaine lettuce.
turnip greens or something. Maybe it's turnips. Who knows? Exclamation play to get your marble on the track, guys. Exclamation play. 60
Oh, it could've
seconds
been
on the
collards.
clock.
Yeah.
Could be. Could be greens. Of some sort. Alright. Sorry.
Hang out.
There. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna burn somebody. Rando! My bad.
Beets. They're beets.
Beets? Nice.
Yeah.
Google searched it.
It's
I
a
have
heck of a lot of
pictured this.
beets.
Cool.
Beet farm.
Beets.
Yeah, I used to picture this app. So.
Poke catch, guys. Poke catch. Oh, jeez. Is that what I moved a minute ago? I need to lock in place. It's the Pokemon. Let's see.
Apparently.
I was like, the box was in my way when I was trying to move the text, and I had no idea what I was moving because the box space for that is like huge, and it doesn't need to be. I'm gonna lock those boys down so they won't move again. That way, when I move text, they don't move. I don't know what that is either.
Well, I'm probably gonna head on out soon. I'm getting kind of tired.
Okay.
I guess you can do that.
I'm sleepy. I feel that though.
I have to work.
It is the end of the Grand Prix though.
Mm.
I will look and see if we can how hard it would be to find a 4th of July one though. And if I can't find one, then I will probably head out to or back to Discord. Lance, you caught the Pokemon!
I got the last one.
Dang.
Yeah. Obstacle.
Fell inside the
The Growlithe?
Obstagoon.
Growlithe?
Yeah.
Growlithe?
Oh, good God, don't do that.
Axel, go!
I'm gonna kill this cat, I swear to God. It's gonna happen. One of these days.
I like the Growlithe.
I knew it.
That thing is cute as hell.
Yeah, it's a little doggo. It's a little fire doggo.
Yeah.
Come on, Axel. There we go. Congrats.
So I didn't initially see the
All of
human
us, like,
face on Axel's picture. I just saw the little stuffy.
yeah. Cute.
I thought it was literally just a stuffy.
No, it's cute. See ya, there's a human face. Stop it. Cute. And lots of cinnamon rolls. And splints. Being all mysterious. Alright, finish the Grand Prix. Are we ready? Are we ready for a drum roll? Third place goes to Mr. Splits and the KimonoKat Marble. Thank you for sporting my skin. Second place goes to Shane. Congratulations. First place goes to me. How? Win.
Fucking right.
I love the butterfly though.
Mhm.
I'm sure Shane would have first place. He won like most of the races. I don't even know. I must have won one that counted. They don't all count apparently. They don't all
I
count.
did win 2 of those. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well.
Alright, custom. Let's look at races. The community. See, I wonder if you could search. July. Nope. Fireworks. Nope. There's Fire World Track.
That's what I was gonna
Hectic
say.
Firefly. Fire Chilling. Fire. Fire
Uh-huh.
Magic Armageddon.
Mona, you want to start Independence?
Yeah. No. Maybe New Year's? No. No.
Freedom?
What about all maps? Do you click all maps?
Yeah.
Oh, it is on all maps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
We're looking for anything like red, white, and blue theme or Memorial Day or, you know, like July 4th kind of red, white, blue fireworky kind of thing to see if there was one. But I don't see one.
Apparently not.
See patriotic? No. What other words are there? I know there's tons of rainbow ones.
America.
Rainbow's the
Rainbow,
only
rainbow.
flag that matters.
Ooh,
Rainbow's
America.
the only flag that matters.
Flag. No. Rainbow. Okay, we'll do rainbow. The elite eliminations. Terrific rainbow elite. What's the plays? Only 3 people have played that. How many? Okay, let's see which one has the most plays. Balanced Rainbow has a lot of plays. 361 plays. So let's go with the popular one and see what it is. Let's find out. We're gonna, since we couldn't do red, white, and blue, we'll do rainbow. So exclamation play, guys. It's probably the last race. There it is. It's pretty. It's you know, it's got the stars and the aurora borealis. So I mean, at least we're looking in the sky at night. No fireworks.
Anyway, Splints, how you like my friend?
Beetle there?
Yeah, he's a good beetle.
Beetle
Chilling with me.
Fred.
You out at the campfire fishing?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm outside.
Nice. Okay, start
I
the
hit
race.
all the
Might help if I
fireworks,
hit
want
start.
to go outside.
Exclamation play, guys! Yay! Hopefully you'll be able to see them
That might
soon.
be fun.
Sorry, Axel. Sorry, not sorry. Just kidding. I'm
I'm
terrible.
sure once the sun fully goes down out there, there'll be more fireworks.
I'm hearing the pops.
VIP
Pop, 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 pop,
art
pop.
booty butt.
What the fuck is your move? Oh.
Have a good
The
friend.
moon ray. Oh, moon ray was disappointed. There you go, bud. VIP commands, basically retired old commands of people that aren't even here anymore.
But-
Except for-
That doesn't exist. Yes.
Swiggity swut, I'm here for the butt.
Yeah, help.
That's very.
I never noticed. Why is Hogwarts not capitalized?
It's not a place.
Get it?
Yeah, it
It's a
is.
fake place.
You're a fake.
So
Who
is,
knows?
so is the state of Michigan. We don't complain about that.
No,
That
we
is.
just we
That's
just
an
we
attack
just
on my whole
consider
family
part of
right there.
we just consider part of it a lake and not a landmass.
Yeah,
I'm literally going to war right now.
as you should.
It's so pretty. Joffrey's in the lead. Look at the colors. A very pretty, transparent track in space with the Aurora Borealis. I think this is a good track to end it on. Beautiful. Joffrey is just like, see ya! I'm out. Pew! Don't forget, we'll be live tomorrow as well, guys. We're gonna do bingo tomorrow.
I'll probably not be, but yeah.
Well, it's alright.
Why
And
am
you
I
were
stuck?
looking forward to
Why am
bingo
I
too.
stuck?
And you were looking forward to bingo.
So my aunt said, "Hey, you want to have fireworks on Saturday?" I'm like, "Yes."
Like, yeah. No, I don't blame you.
I can't drink for
Let's-
3 days. Oh hell no.
Yep. Where is what's going on the invisible space road? This chickadee marble. Okay, we're gonna turn this way so we can see people maybe. I can't even turn at the angles I want. Dang, he's just shooting out across the space.
Paul's gonna kill me for claiming all of his fucking games.
I guess he's going this way. Oh, on Prime or whatever.
Yeah.
You wanna come do mine? I never do mine either. I'm terrible.
Well, it's like
Splits, look at you! Headed to the finish line. Oh, dang. I can't even tell what you're in. Dang. It's one of those ball chamber things.
Yeah, that was just where I lose it.
We lost Joffrey and Cat. Crisis
Every
is gonna
Thursday.
make it. We need Desi. Desi's gonna make it. Come on, Shade, you got this. Oh, Splints made it into the bowl, followed by Lady Rain.
as I should.
Go. One more for the ball. Crisis. It's cool. I like the colors, but you almost can't tell like where you're at. Nice. You got all the points. Nobody loves you like you. Alright guys, that is it for me. Hope you all had a wonderful afternoon or evening and a great July 4th and a relaxing day. And I will see you guys tomorrow night. We're going to play some bingo on stream, have our usual Friday community night, and I will see you guys there. So take care. Say bye everybody in chat. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. I will
Bye,
talk to you
chat.
guys later.
All the buys.
Good night. I can find the button. I can't find the button.